Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I'm your host, Betsy Tinnervin, bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. We are super excited that this is our last show before Christmas. And so we are going to discuss with you what Christmas means to us. I was really excited. It always gets crazy trying to schedule the show and what happens with people when they can't come or schedules change. But it's really crazy how this like melting pot of just epic people always comes together. And so it's pretty awesome because I have Vincent Arcuri on the show today. What's going on, Vince?
Same old, just trying to get through that crazy traffic to get here, but I made it.
I hear you. And I think what's crazy is like everything always just happens, right, Vince? Like it just flows, it happens. Like real estate's crazy, our business is crazy, but then like great things happen.
Especially this time of year. You see miracles happen all the time during Christmas.
They do. So I think that we have like a super miracle here today, that this story has just been a great story. We got so many like texts and calls. We have Travis Doodles with worthandpurpose.com back in the studio. What's going on, Trav?
What's up? Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I just think that during this time, everything that you do is just so phenomenal in Tampa. For everyone out there that doesn't know, Travis runs a full-time ministry, non-for-profit called worthandpurpose.com, and he focuses on the local area. Obviously, Tampa Bay dives into kind of like Winter Haven, Lakeland area as well, but really helps senior citizens with disabilities who are homeless get into housing, as well as help them with things that they need. So, Travis, we have a special guest with us today.
Yes, we do.
And who do we have with us?
Lloyd.
And who is Lloyd?
Lloyd is a guy that I met on the street, and he became one of my closest friends, and my wife and I have officially adopted him.
And what's like Lloyd's? What's your story with Lloyd? Give me a little bit of detail before I introduce him.
I just met Lloyd at the park, and I gave him a little blessing. One thing led to another. We became friends, switched or swapped phone numbers, and the rest is history.
What's going on, Lloyd?
It's like he said. The way he done it, he walked past me at the park.
Oh, so he passed you up, Lloyd?
Well, really, he didn't know who I was.
Okay.
So he walked past me, and then he come back, introduced himself, and then he says, "Well, what's your story?" I told him, and told him that I was working part-time at the Just Dance in Lakeland as a cleanup person. That's how I earn my money.
Okay.
So he said, "I got a blessing for you." And I said, No. He says, yes. So we started discussing, and I gave him my story that I was in the Ledger in 2015, which didn't really mean much to certain people in Polk County. But a guy gave me a job when nobody else would.
Okay.
And I've been with him since 2015 as a cleanup person.
That's awesome.
And I was homeless, having seizures then, but I've started having worse now.
Travis has became your buddy?
Became a buddy. I got baptized since then, fully baptized, go to his church. Now him and his wife are over me fully and make sure I'm okay. I got certain cops in Polk County and make sure I'm okay. You know, just people that really care, not just say it.
Everybody's rooting for Lloyd.
Yeah.
They are rooting for Lloyd. So today on the show, we're going to talk about a couple great things. And since we are coming around the corner for Christmas, I really want to talk about what Christmas means to different people. And I think it's important that we think about all the aspects of the holidays and Christmas, and that not everything is a great time for people. But Travis, I want to start with you. What is your definition of Christmas?
I mean, the whole point of Christmas for me is basically just celebrating the birth of Jesus. You know, I don't really get caught up too much in like the presents and the decorations and stuff. I mean, it's all part of tradition for a lot of people, but being in the streets doing homeless ministry full time, it's actually a really heavy time for me because you just meet so many people that don't have family, that don't have purpose, that don't have hope. And this time of year really brings that out to the fullest. So it's, you know, it's really heavy. And I just try to love on people extra during this time than more than I already do. And just try to make their holidays better.
I agree with you 100%. I think that Christmas is not always a great time for everyone. I do believe, obviously, we try to leave religion and politics kind of out of the show. But for me as well, I mean, Christmas is Christmas. So, it's one of those things where we do need to kind of be thankful and grateful. And I think it's one of those times where we lift other people up. And I have the main man, Vince, in here. And I know Vince has grandkids and kids. So, Vince, what does Christmas mean to you?
Well, for me, a lot of this is a cliche, the reason for the season, but it's really never more true than now because I think people get caught up in the commercialization of Christmas and Christmas has become big business and the Black Friday and it has become a profit center and people really forget that the reason for the season is to celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. And people have gotten on to that when you see the decorations and the elves and the Santa Claus and everything else, which is important to the children. But if you speak to my grandchildren, they'll be quick to tell you, to remind you of what the real reason of Christmas is. And I think people get away from, when I see the waste and I see a lot of people buying these ridiculous expensive gifts for each other, and there's so many homeless people and there's so many people, and you see it. I mean, before you would go to California and you would see it everywhere. You're starting to see it here and really everywhere. And
100%.
It just really, people have really lost focus of helping each other, not just at Christmas, but during the entire year. People they turn their head. They're quick to turn their head instead of trying to reach a solution to these big problems we're having in society.
Well, just so everyone knows on this show, and so they're not expecting anything from me, I haven't bought a Christmas present in 6-7 years. And with the boys who are older now, back starting when they were 13 and 17, I said, hey, we're never doing Christmas presents again. I said, you get the Nikes throughout every season that you play sports that the same kids are waiting for in December. And so every year we went and did the turkey drives. We went and did those things back at home. My father has the Tinnervin Foundation where all we do is boxes of stuff. So I stopped doing Christmas presents a long time ago. And you know what I realized when I did that? How much more I enjoyed Christmas. I mean, the wrapping and the pressure and the this and the that. And again, I agree with you, Vince. Parents now are so pressured. It went from this one token of, hey, we're going to sit around the tree to $1,000 cars that are just thousands of dollars and, motor scooters. And now we've got 5-year-olds with iPhone and we've just lost
purses that are $3,000 for a bag.
Seriously.
It's ridiculous.
I have a question for you, Mr. Lloyd. What was it like last year when you were homeless during Christmas?
It was very sad, but I had certain people come by and make sure I'm okay. Not everybody treated me bad, but just certain ones. But this year, Christmas means a lot. I have Travis in my life, his wife, all the fathers that helped me get off the street, because that's something I prayed for a long time.
When you were homeless on Christmas last year, what did you guys do?
Me, I sat in the park, staying to myself. It was hard for me. I'm a loner. I stayed to myself. And I just prayed to God every day. I had a radio that was cracked. It worked.
Okay, it worked.
It made me listen to 98 Rock all the time. And then when I got saved, I had another phone this year. It got cracked because I had seizures. But for some reason, it kept on until Travis came in my life.
Well, I can't believe
we want to make
that.
sure that 98 Rock, is that an iHeart station? We got to check on it.
Well, iHeart Radio, but anyway,
Edit that
it makes sure.
It kept you moving, man.
It kept me moving because I was away from different people. I stayed to myself, like my boss told me during
Yeah.
time, and that's what I done. And when he come up to me and started talking to me, it was like we both clicked.
We're going to dive deep into that story after the break, Lloyd. So don't you forget your thought process. If anybody wants to donate to Worth and Purpose, Travis Doodles Foundation, you can definitely look them up at Travis Doodles on YouTube. They are real. They are honest. Worth and Purpose is 100% non-for-profit. Every penny that goes to that charity can be donated and goes back to helping homeless people, helping senior citizens. They've done everything from contact other companies and get wheelchair lifts and wheels chairs and all of those great things. So today we really want everyone to focus on that. If you can visit worthandpurpose.com, we'd greatly appreciate it. Just so you know, after the break, we're going to dive deep into the definition of gratitude. We're also going to continue to talk to Lloyd about what that experience was like for him. And Vince and I are going to be kind of sidebars and tell you some things that we deal with our own families. So we're going to go ahead and pay some bills, and you will catch us after the break.
The best comp plans ever in stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home, and we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and real estate. We'd like to thank Robert Palmer, wish him a Merry Christmas, and all the LPT agents and executive staff out there. This show would not be possible without any of them. I think that today, talking about Christmas, what it means to us, everybody talks about Christmas and the gifts and the laughter and the joy. And here we talk about the raw and real. So we have some great people here today. We have Vincent Arcuri, Travis Doodles, and of course, Mr. Lloyd. And today we're just really talking about what Christmas means to us, how to serve without expectation, a little bit about gratitude, and also the tough times that people experience during Christmas. We want to really touch the listeners today that maybe are not excited for this weekend to come around. Maybe they're not happy. Maybe they don't have their family. Maybe they're in financial distress. We really want to speak to those listeners today and empower and inspire you. So, Mr. Lloyd, we know that you were homeless last year. I know you touched on it just a little bit a second ago, but what can you tell somebody out there who maybe is homeless today or addicted to drugs or has not found Christ? Like, what is a piece of advice you could give to them that can keep them moving forward?
Just have faith in God. He sends somebody like Travis along, or somebody that understands where they come from, or like Mr. Vince said, you got to take one step at a time and one step at a day when you wake up, and just stay away from negative people. I mean, it was tough for me. I don't know how I didn't get into drugs, but for some reason, working around what I worked around and just being around positive people helps you a lot. I mean, sometimes it's hard. I mean, when you're on the streets, I was alone. When I was on the streets, I was a loner. Still am. I've stayed to myself. I got a few friends I can talk to.
I'm your friend.
I'm talking about outside of this. I'm talking about like.
Yeah, I understand. So basically,
know,
like if someone is lonely, what can you say to them to make them feel like they're not alone right now in this moment?
Right now in this moment is just pray to God and get on your knees and pray to God. Get by yourself and pray to God. Or if you have what some people say, another person is supposed to be a friend, not just there for whatever, get them to talk to you and
Find your real friends.
Find you a real friend, because in real society outside, certain people don't like homeless people.
Well, I think that for you too, it's like you had to find somebody that can love you at your worst times
Yep.
and your best times.
Yep.
And that's kind of what Travis did. Is like
Yep.
he found you at your worst time.
Yep.
So you know if he loved you then, he was going to really also still be your friend and love you when things got better for you, right?
Yes.
I love that.
That's what I prayed for 3 years, because I always used to hear it on TikTok, this guy saying, "What's your dream?" Well, my dream was to have somebody like Travis come in my life that was for real, not just for me having whatever or not having a whole lot of money, but just be my friend and be truthful. I mean, that's what a person that's homeless wants, is somebody to be truthful
And loyal.
and loyal to them.
You got to be loyal to Lloyd.
Yeah, well,
I love that, Lloyd. I love that. I'll come back to you in just a second. So, Vince, I know that we talked about on the break that people see Facebook and they hear success, and struggle is behind the success always.
Always.
And so I know that you just kind of went through a really tough time with your family, and it's something that you've dealt with not just currently but over the past couple years. And so I know that the holidays can be a little chaotic for some people, but share with the listeners just kind of like struggles that you face that they could relate with you on.
Well, my daughter Christina has struggled with the father of my 3 grandchildren, and he's had some addiction issues long standing. And recently he went to rehab, successfully went through rehab, got a job, put on weight, got off drugs. He was 30 days into it, living back with his parents, my counterpart on the other side, the grandparents on the other side. And the mother went to wake him up for work, and he had passed away, 30 years old. The devastation that, when somebody finally gets their act together and they're finally starting to make progress, and then you ask God, like, why? Why now? Why, when he was maybe addicted, why didn't he, when he's on this path? And to see the devastation with my daughter, Christina, and these children are going to grow up without their father. And then you say, what am I thankful for? Well, the grandparents, my counterparts on the other side, have stepped up, and they take the kids. I'm so thankful for them.
Well, and this is the first Christmas without their dad.
First Christmas without the dad. And they're little. I mean, they're 6, 2, and less than a year old.
Yeah, I think that people would never look at someone like you and go, Vince has experienced struggle, or he has to deal with addiction, or he has to deal with addiction with his own children. People look at you and think like he's the guy in the suit, he's the guy in the fancy shoes. And I think that for all the listeners out there to hear that people that are successful have struggle.
You have to think God doesn't make mistakes, and there's a reason why something happens we don't know yet, why these reasons are, but you have to believe that it happened for a reason, and it's going to change the character of these children, or they're going to grow up a different way than they would have grown up before. But we have to just focus on the fact that they've got roofs over their head, and you see people like Lloyd, and you see Lloyd's story, and just to be able to have the support that they have around them, look for the good in it. There's bad, but I think God wants us to look at the good and say this, where the kids have a roof over their head, they have a support group. If we weren't, and like you said, Betsy, people see us in the suit, and we always promote this glamorous, look how great we're doing. I got this new listing, and look, but behind the scenes, we're dealing with what everybody else is dealing with in life. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I wish we all actually lived that life that we promote ourselves on social media.
Well, and that's what's really crazy, and it kind of just leads into this whole next scenario. So, hey, Trav.
Hey.
So I think that you and I talk a lot about this social media stuff, and I think that there's just a couple things that I just want the world to hear, because you're such a humble dude, and you really are who you say you are. And so just like Vince said, how do you feel about what social media and the internet is doing to the world today?
I think it's neutral. I think it brings out the worst and the best in the world.
Amen to that.
And it just does it at such a rapidly fast pace that it's really overload for our brains. Like there's no way your brain is able to handle the amount of stuff you see on a daily basis when you're scrolling. Like your bandwidth is shot by the end of the day if you're active on social media.
That's why YouTube came up with shorts, Trav.
I mean, I try to stay off of social media as much as I can, even though like that's my entire life. But I think it has a very negative effect on the brain, but it also has a very positive effect to scale positivity and put out as much good as you possibly can. But if you're on the other end of that, where you're like promoting bad things or doing, things that promote negativity, then I feel like it's awful because it just spreads so quickly.
And I think that something that you're very, very particular about that we've discussed multiple times is not feeding into using your channel, which, by the way, I am going to gloat because you in 7 months have pretty much gotten 1 million followers on YouTube.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild.
And how many views now? Like last month, just example.
Last month on YouTube alone, we did almost 120 million.
And how many people are in the United States of America? 330
million, roughly.
So half of the United States of America watched your YouTube videos last month.
Possibly.
That's amazing. And so I think that what's really great about what you're doing, though, is you are spreading great gratitude, God. Ooh, I like the 3 G's. You're spreading that, and millions and millions of people are watching it. And I agree with you. I think the internet and social media has given us a way to touch people in the masses. However, when you touch people in the masses in the wrong way, it's just detrimental. So today we want to touch everybody in the right way. And we want to let everyone know that if you want to donate to worthandpurpose.com, you can do that. You definitely need to check out Travis Doodles' YouTube page. You can see Mr. Lloyd all over his page, going from homeless to owning a car detail business. You definitely do not want to miss segment 3. We're going to come back. We're going to walk you through the process of kind of where Lloyd is at today, Travis is at today, Vince and Arcuri and myself are at today. And we're going to talk about doing things in business without expectation. I think that's a topic that really can just bless people today while we're coming up on Christmas. I hope that everyone downloads the iHeartRadio app. Please also visit worthandpurpose.com. If you have anything extra to share, that is a non-for-profit organization helping senior citizens that are homeless, getting people off the street. And again, we just want to be with you. We want everyone to hear us today. If you're having a rough time and the holidays are not really making you happy, we're here with you. We're here to love on you. And we're going to bless you as soon as we pay some bills after the break.
Biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these 2 models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career or what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin. We are bringing you the raw, the real of life, business, and real estate. We are super grateful for Robert Palmer and LPT Realty Real Estate Reimagined for sponsoring this radio show. Today, we are talking all things Christmas, what it means to you. If you're in a struggle spot in your life and you're having a hard time during the holidays, we're speaking to you. And I have 3 great, amazing people in the studio. Travis Doodles, who's been on the show before. We had several requests to have him back. He is a YouTube influencer, even though he doesn't like that title. However, he is full-time ministry and runs a non-for-profit, worthandpurpose.com. We have his amazing buddy friend who you just cannot help but love, Mr. Lloyd, that runs Lloyd's car detailing business, who just a year ago today was spending Christmas on the concrete, homeless. And Travis got him off the concrete, got him plugged in, helped him start a car wash detailing business, and has got him permanent housing as he is a senior citizen that became homeless because he really had a disability and had seizures. And then I have Vincent Arcuri here, who is, I don't even know how to describe Vincent Arcuri. He was the #1 ERA agent. He was with Exit Realty. I'm just kidding. Vincent Arcuri has a great story. He is a realtor. He is with LPT Realty, but he has shared with me personally and on air some of his struggles that he's gone through and what Christmas is going to be like for him this year. So in this segment, I promised you we were going to talk about serving and doing things in life and in business without expectation. So, Travis, what does that mean to you to serve in business and in life without expectation?
I mean, pretty plain and simple. I just do things because I love people, and I really don't expect anything back. I mean, and that's the easiest way to not be disappointed. Just love people where they're at and try to help people the best you can, and don't expect anything in return. And I never feel let down because I didn't expect anything in return. But I just, God changed my life in 2004, and I never looked back after I dedicated my life to him. And ever since then, it's just been about serving people and trying to lead people to him and just make people's lives better. Just bring them the best value that I can in every way possible.
I think that you are one of the most humble people that I know. And I also think that just the factor that you are making $150,000 a year and you quit your job with no plan or purpose.
Yes.
And genuinely went in 7 months and created this platform that you can touch people in the streets is amazing. I'm really proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Vince, what does it mean to you in your business in particular to serve without expectation?
Well, there's a lot of, in our business, we see a lot of heartache and turmoil with people with divorces and deaths and things that people have to sell their house for financial reasons. And that's really the only security that they have. Having done this for 31 years, in 2007, 8, and 9, and 10, you were seeing people lose to foreclosure and people became homeless and people taking advantage of them. In our business, we see it every which way, upside down to Sunday. And then we see people in other economic times like we've had in the last 2 years, they've just created massive amounts of wealth just by owning that same property that financially ruined people, 15, 20 years ago. So the main thing you have to be focused on, to me, is you focus on God, you focus on your family, what's important to them, because financial and economic things change. And the things that remain important. Money doesn't make you happy. I was watching a thing the other day on one of the scrolling through, which I shouldn't have been doing on social media. There was a Deion Sanders thing. And if you ever see that one, I know Betsy, in your trainings that you do with Realty, you like to show these videos.
Yeah.
It was Deion Sanders was talking about when he was at the peak of his career, he had just won the Super Bowl. He had any car that he wanted. He wore the clothes that he wore. He had women. He had anything that you ever wanted. And he was driving his car one night on a suicide mission to kill himself. And that's when he found God. And if you look at what he's done now at Jackson State, now he's a coach at Colorado, and how he's led these men, these boys, and turned them into men. And the team went undefeated this year in the regular season, but he fundamentally changed their lives. And what's more important than football is God. And that's what he instilled in these people, because they're not going to go to the NFL. 99.9%.
Well, I think that what's crazy is
it.
just what's happened in the world today. I mean, everybody knows, Twitch was just a legend. I mean, everyone knew in the dance world, So You Think You Can Dance. Everyone knows the Ellen DeGeneres show. And this man was happy and he had everything on social media, like we talked about, Travis. And he committed suicide. And it's just crazy to think that there are those things going on in people's lives that cause you to make those decisions. I also think social media and the internet is people are focused on how many likes you get and how many views you get, and not real people in your life that are there to support you and love on you. And I think that's where they do lose sight of God. They do lose sight of what a friendship means. They do lose sight of what family is. And so, Mr. Lloyd, coming back to you, what makes somebody your family? What's that definition for you?
Trust. I mean, trustworthy, coming, making sure you're okay, calling you at least once a day, checking on you like him and his wife does. You building trust with them and talking to everybody, even though at the end of the day, things may seem bad. But with me, now it don't seem bad, but a year ago I couldn't say that. But now, I look at it, it's good. It's a joy to wake up every morning saying that I can do things in God's eyes instead of in man's world. Or like Vince said, you got to have trust and you got to have faith in God. If you don't have that, you're not going to succeed without somebody having trust in you. And he had trust in me. He kept in contact with me with a broke phone.
With a broke phone?
Yeah.
How did he keep in contact with you with a broke phone?
It worked up until the day he come.
That's so crazy.
I know. Everybody kept saying, how come that phone working? I said, I guess God's doing it because they knew Travis was
Travis was trying to call you?
Yeah.
I love that.
He can tell you it was cracked real bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that worked on it was this station and another Christian station.
I love what you said when I said, what is family to you? You said it's trust.
It is. It's trust.
I
and
think that
loving,
people...
And somebody loving you that really means it, not just say it, like your family member or somebody that's homeless that says, I trust you because you're doing something that somebody else should be doing.
Well, I think that what's really great that you said is that a lot of people don't have their family around them, or maybe they've experienced divorce, or their kids aren't with them, or there's issues going on amongst like a family. To me, like family is definitely not blood.
Right.
You know, family is people that are there for you no matter what you're going through in your life. The biggest thing that I've been discussing too is just the people in your circle have to be on your growth track.
Right.
So for anybody out there that is struggling, or maybe the holidays are tough for you, you know, even if you haven't made a bond, a connection with someone and you want to call them family, if they're on the same growth track that you're on, those are the people that you want to keep around you spiritually and mentally and emotionally, because when you keep people around you that are on your growth track, you complement each other's lives. Do you agree, Travis?
Absolutely.
I think it's important to plug in with people. And I had this conversation. We'll give a shout out to Pastor T. You want to say hi to Pastor T, Trav?
Pastor T.
Pastor T yesterday, you know, talking to him just about how getting on the right growth track with people is when you start to excel in your life.
Right.
So you have to weed out the people. It doesn't matter how famous they are, how successful they are. You have to weed out the people that don't have that 5-year goal, that 5-year vision. They have to be on that growth track, and they have to be on the growth track with you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, if you take all the religion and politics out of it, if someone's going to eat crappy food every day and you're trying to like stay alive and keep yourself healthy, they're not on the same growth track as you. If somebody doesn't want to support you in your weak spots, maybe you don't want to work out, you don't want to eat good food, you kind of have a negative energy. If somebody's not there to check you and get you accountable in those areas, not on the right growth track with you. So when we come back, we're going to hear from Vince, Lloyd, and Travis all again. And we're definitely going to talk about what the meaning of gratitude is. I think that's like super essential in today's world, and just also what our plans are for this weekend, and give all our listeners out there just a little bit of information and shout out of ideas and things that they could do if the holidays are tough for them. And of course, we are going to circle back with the purpose and vision of Christmas. And Christmas is about being thankful for Jesus, family, friends, food, coworkers, leaders, mentors. I think leaders and mentors are huge. And so again, we want to give a big shout out to Robert Palmer, one of Vincent and I's huge mentors and leaders at LPT Realty. We are going to pay some bills. Do not miss our final segment. We will see you back after the break. Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin, bringing you the raw and real of life, business, and of course, real estate. We are going to give a huge shout out and a Merry Christmas to the one and only Robert Palmer and all the LPT executive staff. We are LPT Real Estate Reimagined. They make this show possible for us here in Tampa. We also just want to give a shout out to the entire Tampa Bay area and community. Especially want to talk a little bit about the people down in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Port Charlotte. We know that the hurricane has happened for a while now, but the holidays for you guys are probably a little rough as you rebuild, try to have those general family traditions. We're with you. We love you, and we're here to support you. Today I have Travis Doodles with worthandpurpose.com, Vincent Arcuri, the one and only Lloyd, Mr. Lloyd, who was found by Worth and Purpose, homeless on the streets a year ago, sleeping on the concrete. Travis Doodle and his foundation got him off of the streets. Now they have helped him kind of monitor what he's going on with his disability, which is seizures, which was the whole reason why he ended up homeless in the first place. Kind of want to talk about a couple things. First, I want to talk about those traditions. I think Christmas traditions are important, and I think we can talk about them from all walks of life. So what can you tell people, Lloyd, that if they're homeless right now, maybe addicted to drugs, alcohol, have any type of just their world is in bad shape, man? What is a good Christmas tradition that they could practice to kind of lift them up on Christmas?
Well, just stay focused on themselves and positive, on being around positive people, not the negative. I mean, it's kind of rough being outside, but you can find positive people. You just got to want to do that. I mean, for me, it was tough. But for some reason, I stayed on that track where I didn't want to fall in that rut.
You didn't want to fall so far you couldn't get up.
Right. I didn't want to fall where I couldn't get myself out of the rut. And now, I thank God that He's gave me something to look forward to in life. I mean, I've been praying for this for years. And now God's done it, and
it was worth it to wait, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was worth wait. I mean, it's just like he said about drinking and drugging. You gotta take one step at a time, one day at a time. But you gotta stay with that positive people, not negative. That brings you down, and that's what's been I guess my hardest thing was that trust in certain people.
Finding people you could trust.
Yeah, and I stayed to myself until I met Travis, and then he put me in a positive attitude and around positive people and having that trust.
But when you prayed, Lloyd, you knew, like, okay, I can probably get off the streets. But did you think you'd be doing rich people stuff?
Nope.
Did you think you'd be going to Bucks games
Nope.
and YouTube famous and being on the radio?
Nope.
So you just kind of were like, hey, man, just get me off the concrete. And I think that's what makes you such a humble person.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people on the internet that watch you now, because you are famous, a lot of people that watch you on the internet, you just shine so bright in like who you are, because I've seen those emotional, candid moments on camera that you can't fake that, where you really just show your gratitude for just Travis and where you're at. So I just want to let you know that I love you. And I am definitely glad that you can tell everyone else in the world right now, like where you were and how you didn't really set expectations and now where you are today. So thank you for sharing that with everyone.
You know, it's just strange. He can tell you I cried. Still cry.
Yeah.
But this thing for that he's in my life, people like y'all following me. You know, being in the newspaper, it meant something, but and where I go now, you're the man that Travis helped. So.
Yeah, it's funny that you just got teary-eyed, Lloyd. I have that effect on people on this show. I kind of just strip them down and get them real vulnerable and just bam, bam, bam. Yeah,
well,
it's really
you know,
great. I'm glad you just showed that emotion, because I think for people to hear that is amazing. And we love you, and we thank you for coming on the show today. I really do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, just like you was discussing the other day, it's hard for certain things.
Yeah.
It was for me. It's just like with Travis. Hey, he can tell you. I told him, no, I really work for my money.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, Travis, what about gratitude for you? What about just what is gratitude? And this is kind of final thoughts, you know, for our listeners. What is gratitude, and how is Lloyd? Here's a really great question. Let me just rewind. Because I think sometimes I find myself, when I serve without expectation, I help other people. They help me too.
Right.
So what is you showing just gratitude and also helping Lloyd done for you?
It's definitely just goes hand in hand with my faith. Loving on people and helping people gives me purpose, and it aligns with what I believe as far as my calling in life and what God wants me to do. And for me, life is so short. The fact that I'm going to die, like, I just want to make my life count, and I just want to leave as much positivity as I can on this earth before I do leave it. And I just want to lead people to Jesus, and I just want them to have the peace and the purpose that I have. So I just do my best to spread that daily. And just God has given me the platform through video and the internet to spread it even more. So for me, I'm just grateful to be alive every day, that I just get to do this and just wake up and breathe and just help people. It's the most amazing life in the world, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I pinch myself every day that I get to do this. It just doesn't feel real. But the fact that I'm going to die, I just want to make my life count. And we don't know when we're going to leave this earth, so it's like you have to make every day count. And I just try to focus on that. I just look at death in the face, and my actions are based off that.
And today, you, me, Lloyd, and my girl Jen Spinelli are hitting the streets after the radio. And we're going to go take, Lloyd, you're coming with us to go serve and give homeless people backpacks and socks and hot and ready pizzas. And I think to see this come full circle has just been an amazing, amazing thing. Vince, I would like you to give a quick final thought on tomorrow is not promised. Next year, Christmas is not promised. So what is one important thing that you're going to do today, Christmas Day, that touches other people, gives you purpose and passion?
Well, I'm going to love on my family, my dad, thankful that he's around, my grandkids, my daughters, and just be thankful that I've got them, and try to focus on the positives. And like we had talked on the break, everybody's, you can have a sluggish start in life, but you can certainly have a great life starting today on, and you can change your life. And, you could be 70 years old and you could still have 20 or 30 great years left. There's plenty of life in front of you, and just to live your life every day to the fullest and do the best that you can and help as many people as you can.
I love that. I definitely appreciate you being here today and spending Christmas with you guys. Lloyd, can you believe that you were homeless and now we're going to go out to the same park that you were in and we're going to give to other people today? Can you believe that?
It's okay. I mean, I wanted to get back the other day, but I told Travis, since he had a Santa Claus thing, I wanted an elf thing. So
yeah, we went to Walmart, and I dressed up like Santa. And
I dressed up as elf.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, Lloyd dressed up as an elf, and we just went out and just gave people money at Walmart and paid for their stuff.
And blessed them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that go, Lloyd?
That's something I always wanted to do, because since I've been with him, I've been telling him I wanted to do something back to show people that's been helping me get straight that there's still true people out here that do appreciate what he does.
Absolutely. Did you ever think that that's how it would go full circle, Travis?
No. God has blown my mind in this whole process.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's like so awesome just that, one, Lloyd, you want to do that because you remember what that's like. I think what's crazy, and I want to leave everyone with this, is that when you give and you serve without expectation, how much in return you are truly, truly blessed. And I think that another person I want to give a shout out to is my guy, Ted, from the Ted Show. He asked me to be on his show, and we've kind of bonded and created a relationship. But he's another guy that really serves without expectation, and he really features his guests and inspires other people. And this morning, I was so blessed to be able to start my day talking to him with a quick phone call. So from me to all of our listeners, I appreciate everyone out there that listen every week. I get so many great texts and phone calls. If you're interested in being on the show or you would like to connect, it is 813-609-0229. Today, we are all about worthandpurpose.com. If you are going to donate, please connect with them, either Travis Doodles, you can find their YouTube page, or travisdoodles.com. And again, it is worth and the word and purpose.com. We want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Again, thank Robert Palmer and the executive LPT Realty staff. Today is about you guys. We hope that you stay healthy and well, and you get all of those great blessings today. And again, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.